Hey guys, my name is Matthew, and this is my review of New Kid by Jerry Craft. Here we go. New Kid is this year's Newbery Award winner, and it's a graphic novel. That's crazy. It features Jordan, who's a new kid in middle school, and it focuses around school as a pivoting point, but discusses all sorts of issues in the meantime. A lot of them surrounding diversity and wealth. What does that look like going to a private school when you're coming from a low-income neighborhood, and lots of other complex issues. In my review, I will be listing some of my observations of this novel, starting roughly from some of my favorite things about the novel and moving through to some of the things that I didn't like as much. I'll end this review with a recommendation. I'll say I'm pretty new to graphic novels, but I really appreciated this one. It is super relatable. I feel like everyone can feel the awkwardness of middle school and not relating and trying to be friendly, but sometimes you slip in with someone you don't mean to, and there's the annoying kid, and this graphic novel is super relatable. Throughout the entire thing, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely recognize myself in middle school in this novel. This isn't a direct observation about the novel. It's really exciting that this novel was chosen as a Newbery winner. It's the first time a graphic novel has ever been chosen, and I think it's really interesting. Graphic novels in general, I think they serve an amazing purpose. Obviously, they're kind of a bridge between a comic book and I hesitate to say normal novel, but it's really exciting that it was chosen. Something I really liked about this read is it was super fast, and that kind of helps with that bridge between, you know, quote unquote normal books. I really appreciate that there's a quick read, you can kind of flip through, and the plot bleeds through even though it's kind of an atypical format for a novel. I loved the way that this book dealt with issues of diversity and racism, whether overt or subvert. I really appreciated the way that it dealt with some of those issues that are complex in a way that wasn't jam it down your throat-y. I feel like sometimes it's like an education class coming out of a book, and that's not what this was at all. This was all very relatable, and it felt like I could empathize with the character very easily, where some books don't do that very well. This book did it super well and dealt with all those complex issues in a very relatable way. Some people complained about the art in the book. I felt like the art was fine. It may be a little bit cartoony, but it didn't distract from my reading of the novel at all. I actually appreciated the art. I think it was done pretty well. A couple things I didn't love about this novel. One, I feel like the main character, Jordan, was just trying to survive, but we never had a goal or a real plot for the book. I felt like it fell a little bit flat in that regard, although it did a great job at offering a storyline that kept us interesting. I didn't feel like there was a great climax or conclusion. I kind of hoped that his drive to be in art school was going to be a piece of that. That's hardly a spoiler. It happens in the first like 5 pages or something. I hoped that was going to be a major plot point, but that doesn't really serve to be a plot point at all in the book. The only other thing is, in some places, the bubbles for like who's speaking were a little bit confusing. So I wasn't entirely sure who was supposed to be speaking. That might be my shortcoming in not having read a lot of graphic novels, but I felt like I didn't always understand exactly who was supposed to be speaking. It didn't detract terribly from the story, but it was sometimes confusing. So who is this book for? I think this book is great for a middle school reader. I think it's awesome. I think it's a quick enough read and it's interesting enough that I recommend it for anyone who's even kind of interested. Newbery Award winning books are renowned for being good books, and this is not an exception to that rule. This book is excellent, and I definitely recommend it for anyone who is maybe even kind of interested in it. I really enjoyed the read, and I think that there's a lot of good truths to be gleaned from this book as well. This has been my review of New Kid by Jerry Craft. If you've enjoyed this content, feel free to like and subscribe, and as always, stay safe out there.